what's up YouTube? DNF Duel is a game that a lot of people are calling one of the easiest fighting games out there, and it's, I think, really good. You know, you have simple inputs and very easy to understand gameplay, but there's some characters that are easy in the game, some that are actually pretty hard, including what I think is one of the hardest fighting game characters I've ever played in this game. So we're gonna do an easy use tier list, let you guys know who's easy, who's hard, and kind of talk about their play styles if you're looking for who to play and or just want more information about the characters. A few things before we get started. Don't use this list to determine who your main's gonna be. You know, pick who you like. Just because a character's hard doesn't mean you shouldn't main them. They can be learned. They just take more time. And worst case scenario, you can always learn a hard character and an easy character at the same time, and you know, kind of hedge your bets that way. Also, this list is subjective. I did ask some other top level players, but some characters may be harder for you than others, right? So a skill that you might find hard, someone else might find easy. Everyone's different, so if you have disagreements, feel free to share them in the comments below, but do keep in mind that you know, everyone's different. Also, don't use this as an assessment of skill. Like, if you lose with an easy character, that's okay, right? There's a lot more that goes into winning a fighting game than the character you pick. And this isn't a tier list. Just because a character is easy doesn't mean they're good. By easy to play, we mean for a beginner level player to pick up the game and, you know, start beating people online or beating your friends, that sort of thing. All right, with that being said, let's get into it. Let's start at the easiest first. So the #1 easiest character in the game, without a doubt in my mind, is Hitman. Let's talk about why. So his gameplay is just super straightforward. Use the really long 2M, cancel into his 5S and 6S, and yeah, you do the same combo over and over. Once you get an awakening, you get a safety P that just does crazy damage. That wasn't even close to optimal, but you get the point. You don't even need like very complicated combos with this character to be effective, right? You can just use the main tools and do very well, honestly. And you know, if you really want something else, you do have an instant overhead too. But even that, like, that's like all you need to do with this character. Very simple game plan and just rinse and repeat. So another character I think is quite easy as well is Crusader. So Crusader has to have one of the most straightforward neutrals in the game, right? You just throw the ball, you keep throwing the ball, go behind it. Some characters can't deal with this at all, and the characters that can, you have a full screen wall that's plus on block, and that you get a full combo from. You know, you have this armor up move, and I've never done this combo before. Yeah, this is just as easy as I thought. First try. This character is ridiculous. He's super easy. Definitely deserves his top spot. I swear to God, I've never even tried this character before. I got in the first try. The other character I think is maybe not on the level of Crusader and Hitman, but I think still deserves to be up there, is Troubleshooter. Troubleshooter just has some really straightforward game plan. It's very easy to do. All right, so yeah, this character, very easy. You have some of the, you know, best air specials in the game. This air grenade is just crazy good. You get a full combo off of it. I don't know the combo. Same thing with the ground grenade. It makes it very hard for characters to approach. You have some very good specials moves, right? This thing just lays down some traps and, you know, controls space like crazy. This thing, in Awakening, you get a full combo from it. And he has to have another one of the dumbest moves I've seen, was just this air moons magic skill. So like every other easy character, you know, you got a pretty straightforward combo. You know, his Awakening combos are pretty easy. This took like 1 minute of labbing. Yeah, good character, good character. So I think that rounds out the easiest tier. I think these are on like a whole nother level of easy. Okay, so a lot of the rest of the characters, it's a little harder to stratify, but I think Ranger's probably like one of the next easy characters, right? Yeah, so literally just shoot guns. A lot of characters have trouble dealing with this. 5B, 2B is really good. If you ever land a gun, like even at this range, you get the gun raid into a full combo. You know, he has some pretty good air specials as well. This grenade, you know, controls a lot of space, forces them to come in, and you can shoot them more. Yeah, what more is there to say? I think this character is quite easy, probably bordering on easiest tier. I do think there's like more combo variations and stuff you need to know, and not to mention there's like some characters when you're zoning them out, like let's say Swiftmaster, can be a little tricky to figure out how to zone out, right? But yeah, very good character as well. All right, who's next? Damn. Yeah, there's definitely like a stratification. Maybe Ranger's the easiest, because I feel like everyone else is like probably on a different level. All of these have like no faults that make them easy. I'll talk about Ghostblade, because I do think Ghostblade is easy, but let's talk about why I think he's not considered super super easy. So the easy thing about Ghostblade is his neutral is very straightforward. He has good buttons and he has some of the best neutral skips in the game. So he has this move that literally leads into a full combo. You get the idea, but you get a combo for full screen. That's really, really good. And you don't have to deal with like some of the BS in this game, like zoning. You know, you literally just neutral skip. That's really powerful. Some of the other things, he just has like pretty good buttons in this game. This 5A is like actually kind of crazy. You know, good moon skill. That move's really, really good. Easy pressure with stuff like his 4MS. The one thing that I think it's a weakness this is, but also makes it a little tough, is that I think DPs are very valuable in this game. And Ghostblade's one of the few characters without a DP. His DP is actually invincible teleport, but it's not invincible right away. So you have to be very strategic with how you use it. And so I think that's like kind of the only thing that keeps him out of easiest tier. All right, let's talk about... Now, Inquisitor is definitely on the high up on the easy tier. I think the reason she's easy is that her block things are just very straightforward to use. You can literally just do button, 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 into wheel. Baby's first block string, right? That's really easy to implement. And then you have another built-in mix-up where, like, if you want to bait like a guard crush or you want to bait out like a DP, you could just do this move and you can run back in. Her block strings are some of the easiest to execute simple in the game. Where I think she struggles a little bit is her neutral is like a little, how I say it, like her buttons are kind of like little slow. She does have like some good neutral skip options like this, but you know, just in general, I think she doesn't have as easy to use neutral. That's kind of what I think keeps her out of the easiest tier. And yeah, her awakening is very, very good. It just makes it so much easier to use mana however you want. Yeah, actually, yeah, launcher is definitely easy tier. All right, so launcher, very similar to ranger in application. Again, the zoners that can just kind of press buttons and zone are in general gonna be pretty easy in this game. Okay, this honestly has to be the best round start button in the game. It can be jumped, but like literally you can start half your games off just pressing 5A. And then yeah, you just have a ton of zoning options. I think her zoning's not as straightforward as Ranger, which is kind of why I put her down here. But you have some really good options, and you can just kind of as long as you rotate your options really well, you can get some very easy wins at low mid level. Just rotating all of your options with zoning, you know, occasionally go in. You don't really have to use that many combos, honestly. But she does have some really cool, sick corner stuff, and she has a decent DP as well. So pretty much everything you need as a zoner. So I'd say that yeah, the things that keep her out easiest here, again, you have to use all of her tools because like you don't want to be predictable because a lot of them are susceptible to like susceptible to roll, or they're susceptible to jump, right? And so you have to mix up your tools because some tools are better against different options than others. Yeah, I mean she's good. She's pretty easy to use. She's like your pure zoner in this game. So, okay, I'm a little conflicted, right? So there's characters like Striker, DK, Kunoichi, where I think their neutral is very straightforward, but I think you have to be like sweaty with the combos in order to make them work really well. So I think Striker, DK, and Kunoichi are all in like the same tier, and maybe that's easy, maybe that's medium. Yeah, let's close out easy with Vanguard, because I think Vanguard's very straightforward, and then maybe these all go in medium, and then maybe we need a fifth tier. Easy, but need to learn sweaty combos. Semi-sweaty combos. All right, so let's talk about Vanguard. I mean, Vanguard is very straightforward. Think of him as like a zoner, but a little more mid-range focused. That just has really good buttons that kind of all chain into each other. I've never actually played Vanguard before, but you can literally just do this, into that, and just this crazy chip. And that's literally, you just keep rotating the options. You can kind of get away. It's a very free form. It's very just kind of choose options, and a lot of characters don't have the range to really contest with them, right? Just very good buttons. That button is like actually insane. Yeah, just great character. I think the one downside of him, and one thing I think makes him a little harder than some characters, is one, like I think he struggles like with characters that have ways to keep him out. Like again, he's not full screen. He's like this range. So some characters maybe like, I guess Ranger, maybe potentially give him an issue. Crusader potentially give him an issue. The other issue I see is like DP. His DP is like, it actually should not exist, right? Look at this. Yeah, so his DP is a lot harder to use than some other characters, so it can make it a little tricky to you know, defend with this character. But again, you do have universal options, right? Guard break is you know, quite good with him. He also has a really godlike start of the round button. I think this thing is just crazy. It's fast, it stops jumps, it lets you start your BS. I think you also need to learn some a bit of sweaty combos with him, but his combos honestly aren't too bad. It's usually like string into this OTG move into more moves. No one seems to drop the combos, so I'm guessing they're pretty easy combos. All right, cool. So I'm gonna put these characters in easy. Striker, Dragon Knight, Kunoichi. Maybe Striker arguably is up here because I don't think you necessarily need the sweaty combos with her like you do with DK and Kunoichi. All these characters have pretty straightforward game plans, right? Striker, her idea is to just kind of move around and you know, apply pressure, land a dive kick, do a mix up off a dive kick. Dragon Knight, you just kind of fly away and throw the projectiles. Kunoichi, you kind of you know, use your speed to get in and then start something on block. So they have very straightforward game plans, but let me show you what I mean by sweaty combos. So here's an example from SQ on some example of like the amount of sweat you can put into this character, right? An easy bread and butter with Zoe would probably get you like Zoe. everyone tells me to play Zoe, which is Dragon Knight in this game, would probably get you like 25% health. But with a character like this, you really need to optimize the amount of damage that you get off of one hit. The reason I'm a little hesitant to put her in easy tier, same thing with Kunoichi, including quite possibly I mean, this is not probably practical, but this is some of the example of the stuff you can do with Kunoichi, right? You have a little flame like mark that goes on them, and you really have to optimize around that. And you can use it for the extend combos. This combo is actually insane, bro. But you can see what I mean. Game plan easy, combos can get really sweaty. In order to optimize them, you definitely need to start learning stuff like this. Yeah, very practical bread and butter. Yeah, I'm sure, guys. Honestly, her bread and butters, you do want to have some extensions like that, right? Yeah. Another example, this is another combo. Again, you don't necessarily need these to play a character. I think Striker is quite easy in game plan and execution and mix up. But yeah, the ceiling is quite high for some of these characters. That combo, way harder than it looks. Trust me on this one. So that's why I think these three kind of deserve their own tier. But in game plan and like non-optimality, I think they're pretty much easy tier. All right, so 5 characters left. So I'm gonna sort everyone. So Grappler, Swiftmaster is like, you know what? I'm gonna put Swiftmaster here. Similar idea, although he doesn't have like the hardest optimal combos. But I think for a new player starting out, combos can be a little intimidating. I know when I was learning it, like I'm like, this is a little tricky, but the game plan is super easy for Swiftmaster, right? But you dash around. This 5M is crazy. You literally just dash up 5M, dash up 5M, 2M, and then if you get a hit, and then I dropped the end, but one of the things that, you know, kind of makes some of his execution, that combo is like, has a couple links in it. He also has a negative edge move, which basically you have to hold down your S button for a couple seconds, and then when you release it, you get this move, right? Which for newer players is a little unintuitive, but honestly, as long as you just hold it after the last special move you do, it's honestly not that bad. And he has some way sweatier stuff that you can learn, and I think optimal Swiftmaster, you'll kind of be at that level where you're executing a lot of things very fast. But the core game plan, which is just move around, and if you play a zoner, you know, activate spiral swords and run in, that thing beats projectiles for some reason. Very simple, very easy game plan to follow. So cool. All right, so hard characters, Enchantress, Lost Warrior, Berserker, and I think Enchantress is actually hardest, but we'll go through the last 4. Grappler, I honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know much about the tiers in this game, and I think it's too early to determine, but I don't think Grappler's a good character because he's a character that has to get in on characters with full screen normals and yeah, crazy zoning, and he doesn't have the best tools to do it. So I think just the execution of his game plan is kind of hard to implement, not to mention he also doesn't have a DP, which I think his defense is pretty bad too. In order to make this character work, you have to use all of his tools, you have to use them really well, and then once you get in, you have to make that part really count, right? But you know, the game's still early, character might be actually pretty good. I also think Grappler actually has some really good matchups, like against like Ghostblade, for example, because Ghostblade has a hard time keeping them out. So Lost Warrior, the unlockable character, literally just plays through story mode for 30 minutes and you'll get him. You'd think he'd be really easy because he has a couple tools that are some of the easiest tools to use in the game. His 6S, it's so good. It's literally instant. You know, I think it's like pretty hard to react to. He also has 6MS, which is just like a crazy zoning tool. And that's plus some block, and then you can check them with this, and then, you know, if you're in the corner, you side swap and you can just run away more. But some of the things that make him hard, he has a counter DP, which is not very good. His normals are like surprisingly like pretty bad. Like, this is not very long range and it's quite laggy. I mean, these are just his jabs too, and they're kind of slow. This 2A is pretty good. And the thing that makes him good, I actually think this character is pretty underrated. So reason why I think this character is good, but also takes skill, is that you just need one chance with him, right? You just need to land that 6S one time. And if you're an awakening, you just die, bro. But this is not a combo you can mess up. And also you have to play around the stacks, the time stop. You get 5 stacks and you time stop, and yeah, this character is really, really cool, but you know, you need to be able to execute this kind of stuff in order to make him as effective as possible. And yeah, touch of death. Shouldn't have got hit by a hard to react to full screen safe move. All right, so last character on this, Berserker. Berserker is another character I think is actually really, really good. But a couple things that I think make him hard to play is one, he can struggle neutral sometimes against some characters. Some characters that if they have to approach, you can literally just like keep spamming this move. This move is really good. You can kind of do this. Basically a wall, and he forms a projectile. That's really good. But some characters like the one even let thing goes up and he has to approach, and that can be a little tough. He's not the fastest character. He also his like thing is that he can activate blood drain, and it gives him instant access to conversion, right? So this gives you white life, and then you can activate conversion, and that makes him really strong. But it's also pretty hard to implement, because again, you could screw up and then you could lose a lot of your life. Or you just mess up the blocks and you get DP, then now you're way too low on health, right? But this character I think is very rewarding. Yeah, so example of like a guard break setup. Again, you see him using the conversion, the kind of guard break here, and it's very hard to deal with. And then once you get the hit, they can just literally explode. This is even with awakening, right? This is part of the reason why people think this character is good. But you know, you have to have your execution down in order to be able to do stuff like that and make it count. All right, so last character on the list is Enchantress, and this is actually one of the characters I've been playing the most. I think she's very, very fun, but a few reasons why she's, in my opinion, easily the hardest character in the game. One, she's just very executionally heavy. I mean, you can literally go into her trials and try out some of the combos, but they're very tough. A couple reasons why they're tough is that you have this little bear that when you activate 5MS, you also control the bear as well. You have to make sure you control the bear at proper spacings, and if the bear's at like the wrong spacing, for example, so let's say you know, you try the DP and the DP will just whiff because the bear is actually your DP, right? So you need to make sure you have proper placement of the bear. The other thing is she has a lot of things that you need to learn for execution. So for example, she actually has like an instant overhead, and how you do this is you press slash and then meter button at the same time. You know, if you do it wrong, it looks like this, but if you do it right, you see how she just kind of jumps up like that? So she has a lot of advanced techniques like this, and I can't even get all the time, that I think are going to be core to her fundamental game plan. And she also has like really like good block pressure, right? But all this block pressure requires her to do is cancel a move into the bear activate. And see, every time that she glows, that's all plus, by the way. Pretty good character, but yeah, this is very heavy on execution. He's not only do you have to time the bear as well, but you have to time your dashes, and if you drop, you can, you know, drop a combo. She also does very little damage mid-screen. Some of the combos like people are playing around with, or something like that. You see that did very little damage. And so while she does have other routes, you have to hit them a bunch of times, and that can be you can kind of lose out on risk reward as well. But she's really fun, she's really rewarding, and definitely wouldn't discourage someone from playing her, even though she's our hardest character game. Just, hey, maybe have an alternate character as well. For me, I'm actually playing Enchantress and Hitman because I want someone easy peasy to carry me for some wins from time to time. So here's the final list. Let me know what you guys down in the comments think. It's really fun to put together and really fun to think about, you know, who's the easiest character in the game. I honestly think that again, this game's still new and there's still a lot to learn. And again, you know, if you're watching this down the road, there might be a balance patch and things may have changed a little bit. But again, for the core fundamentals of the game plan, this is my opinion and the opinions of my chat in the Twitch stream. Speaking of Twitch, I do stream this game on Twitch, and if you're interested in, you know, getting into fighting games or competitive fighting games, consider checking me out. Links down in the description below, and like, share, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any other thoughts, leave them down in the comments below. Have a great day, and I'll see you next video.